Greetings citizen, and welcome to another fun-filled and action-packed episode of This Week in Star Citizen. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing and smashing that like button. New episodes of This Week in Star Citizen come out every Sunday. Let's kick off this week's episode with Inside Star Citizen. Brace yourselves, mining consumables are coming. Yay. These handy little items will be able to be equipped to mining heads, and will act much the same way that a bowl of noodles or a snack bar will for player characters, by giving them a little buff. Though it's not clear if your mining head will die if it doesn't get a little buff every couple of hours. I can't wait to find out. These new mining attachments look like they might actually be pretty useful and add some nice depth to an already pretty decent game loop. Nice work Dan Truffin and the guys. Now, let's see if miners can make some decent coin running Puntanium. We get an early look inside the new ESPERIA budgie this week, which looks like an armored birdcage with Gatling guns. They didn't mention it, but the floor is made from sandpaper. And instead of Christmas tree air fresheners that dangle from your rearview mirror, these tavern ships come equipped with a little cuttlefish and a bowl for seed. Joking aside, the ship development team have done a pretty outstanding job on this new alien vessel, as it really does look out of this world. In fact, I would go so far as to say this ship looks the dog's bollocks. Not sure if I'd ever want one though, but if I did, it would be called Pieces of 8. Anyway, great job ship design team. Calling all devs. The long-awaited return of Calling All Devs graced our screens this week as Jared Newson's called devs from various studios to join him in conversation about all things Squadron 42, but without really mentioning anything to do with Squadron 42 progress for fear of spoilers. We kick off with Brian Chambers, VP of Development, who chats to Jared about how the roadmaps are shite and some other stuff. Old Disco Beard then pulls Tyler Whitkin into the conversation to chat a little bit more about how the roadmaps are shite and plans to improve the way the team conveys progress on Squadron 42 to the backers without giving anything away about Squadron 42. So the big takeaway here is that the roadmaps are shite and don't really do the job of conveying the team's progress as well as they would like, and the team is paranoid about giving away anything about Squadron 42. So with this in mind, expect to see rework the roadmap get added to the roadmap, then being pushed further down the roadmap, before finally being removed from the roadmap. It's then over to Nick Elms, creative director in Wilmslow, UK, who tells us a little bit about what he does for a living, but was able to share some info about how female characters are being accommodated and will give a different performance in game. We get an interesting breakdown of why the development of bartenders in Squadron 42 is important from Francesco Roccucci. Basically, just popping open a cold beer bottle is easy, because that beer bottle already exists as an object. But it gets more complicated if you want a cocktail, because the AI will have to take at least 3 separate items and combine them into one. So for example, a whiskey and coke will require whiskey, coke, and a glass. And it's going to get even more complicated if you order something like a Long Island iced tea. As someone who has worked as a full-service bartender here in the great state of Texas, I'm looking forward to seeing how they manage to pull this off. We then finish up with Nathan Dursley, who has his cup of tea rudely interrupted before giving us an update on Squadron 42's art direction and giving us an awesome clod look at a Ciado station. Very cool. Overall, it's good to see the return of Calling All Devs, and I found the AI work on bartenders particularly interesting. Thank you, Disco. This brings us nicely onto the roadmap roundup. Now, this may come as a bit of a shock to some of you, but there is pretty much fuck all to report roadmap wise. But there may be some improvements coming via CIG's internal sprint tracking process to visualize their progress. So we'll just leave it at that. And so, onto the massive elephant in the room. Bad news folks, gone are the days of running around on microtech in your scruddies, as the actor status system version 1 is coming soon. To prepare for this not inconsequential change to the way we are going to be playing Star Citizen after 3.9 drops, CIG let loose a handful of devs to answer the community's questions on the subject, which went about as well as expected. Let's look at some of these questions. What will be consumable in 3.9? Basically food and drink. Bottled water, snack bars, that kind of shit. You can also eat golden medmans. If you can fucking find any, that is. How exactly is this system going to incorporate with existing armor? They're going to retroactively fit this to all existing armor in the game. But for more extreme climates, like microtech, we'll need specialized suits that will be coming in 3.9. Except if you have a female character, because fuck female character clothing. Probably. How can another player assist me if I'm suffering from dehydration, hunger, or hypoxia? We'll be able to drop food and drink for other players to consume, or sell, or wave about in their faces while we teabag their dying corpse. Very splendid. Where will we be able to obtain bought consumables in 3.9? Basically, all major landing locations, and inside rest stops and shit. But not vending machines because reasons. Each food and drink item will have a corresponding nutrition and hydration value. Fucking great. So not only do I have to watch what I eat in real life, I've now got to read the fucking food labels in the game I play to escape real life. Excellent. Will we die if we don't eat or drink? Yes, you can die from hunger and you can die from thirst, independently of each other. So this question right here has caused some members of the community to literally come unhinged. The main argument against this is that Star Citizen is not meant to be the long dark in space. Others are saying, well, doesn't it kinda make sense we have to take care of and maintain our ships? It's logical we'd need to maintain our characters as well, right? This argument is going to go on for a while and already the salt is flowing heavily from both sides. Personally, I haven't made my mind up yet. I want to see it working first, before I start throwing my toys out of the pram. Also, it's the first implementation. I'm sure it'll be tweaked. My fear is we don't start running into situations like this though.
Incoming call. Yo Wiz, hey listen man, old Papa Arlington has gone and got himself an Idris. I mean shit be going down. We're putting a posse together to go help take this sumbitch out before the whole goddamn system be put on lockdown, and could use a hand on guns. Can I count you in?
Sorry bro, I gotta cook dinner, then I have my yoga class, then I gotta go grocery shopping. Maybe next week. To be fair, on the face of it, I don't mind having to stuff a space sandwich in my face every couple of hours or so. Or maybe every 3 to 4 hours. Hell, it could even lead to some exciting gameplay loops for search and rescue teams trying to find stranded citizens from the tops of mountains wearing khaki shorts and sand shoes. Whereas right now, you can take as long as you like, but with a new actor status system the race will be on to find them before they freeze their nuts off or die of dehydration. Perhaps we'll even see a boredom system in version 2 where we'll have to keep our characters suitably stimulated or they'll die of fucking boredom. I imagine the props team are working on plasma TVs and titty bars as we speak. Giddy up. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this is implemented, and if it turns into too much of a chore, I shall have a hissy fit and start writing strongly worded emails. But honestly, I'm not sure what some people were expecting, given that most bloody ships had some sort of kitchen or microwave in them. I mean fuck, the 890 Jump is equipped with an industrial sized restaurant that can probably spew out enough souffles to sink a battleship. Did they think that level of fidelity was just for shits and giggles? Come on, this is a Chris Roberts game. Of course there's survival fidelity. Fingers crossed that it won't be too intrusive though. Spec from Dispatch article on Dumpers Depot. Ever wondered how that shady location you get your discount quantum drives from came into being? Well, wonder no more citizen, with this handy dandy guide to Dumpers Depot. Or, Depot if you're from the States. It's quite a good little article, and gives some nice background lore on everyone's favorite junk store. Link in the description below. And in other news, Alpha 3.9 was released for a few hours to the avocados who have been diligently testing stuff. And for those of you still sitting on the fence regarding the Anvil Carrack, you have until March 16th before it's pulled from the store. So chop chop if you're thinking of buying one. Right, well that's it for this week's episode. As always, thanks for watching. Now, commence like button slapping and subscribing. Do it now.